And the next voice that you'll hear after mine is our honorary doctoral speaker for the graduation, Dr. Lakeisha Menifee, CEO of Abundance Educational Consulting, LLC. Lakeisha Menifee, known professionally as Dr. Kiki, the Rocket Lady, is an educational consulting coach, speaker, and philanthropist. Dr. Kiki holds a Doctor of Education degree from Texas Southern University, a master's degree from the University of Houston, and a bachelor's degree from Prairie View A&M University. Dr. Kiki has been an education professional for 19 years in the areas of science and mathematics. She's currently the owner of the nonprofit organization Abundance Educational Consultant, AEC, as well as the for-profit STEM Up with Dr. Kiki. As the CEO of AEC, Dr. Kiki works with schools and universities to supervise new leadership as they transition into a new school program and network with district campus leaders to identify students that would benefit from instructional programs. AEC also helps to ascertain proper grade placement, development, and outreach programs for various universities in the area of science, technology, mathematics, and engineering education for grades K through 12. And she will do all of this in 8 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I don't know why you put me up after Dr. O'Sonoran, because I am totally messed up. Oh my God. Okay. I have my 8 minutes. I may need somebody to kind of ring a bell. First, I would like to give honor to our Chancellor, Attorney, Reverend Diane Moore Eubanks, PhD of Global Overday Seminary and University. Beautiful, smart. Did I mention she fine? Okay, she talked about how she got muscles. She's a queen. All right. I am totally and truly standing on the shoulders of giants right now as I speak. She is our superwoman that all of us super girls look up to. And I think about that on this monumental day because I looked on the news yesterday and our Supergirl was let go and able to come back home, you know, and she's on her way, she's here, and we're grateful to God for that, you know, and that astounded the world that they allowed this Black woman to come home over a man, you know. And I thought about what an unprecedented time we are in. And I say, not only a man, but a man, if y'all know what I mean, that man, right? And Romans 8:28 comes to me. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Amen. I think about a time as a super girl, you know, looking up to super women like our chancellor, just sitting there in high school, getting ready to graduate. Year after year, I marched in a band. I was in the Baby Ocean of Soul marching band, all right? In the Baby Ocean of Soul marching band, we looked up to TSU, all right, Texas Southern University. And being in the band, I was one of the largest band members. I was the largest band member, okay? My band instructor made sure I came down to get weighed in for the new uniforms because he wanted to make sure I got weighed in so they could have a uniform my size. My freshman year, they had to get old uniforms and put them together to make a uniform for me. However, my daddy got together, he got his friend that was a seamstress and put those things together because his baby girl was gonna march in that band. And year after year, I played for those graduation commencements, and I watched those kids sit on that stage. And I say, man, who are those kids that sit on the stage? They say, those are the kids that graduate at the top of the class. And me and my friend playing the clarinet, I say, man, I want to sit on the stage. I said, I gotta sit on the stage. And my friend that played the clarinet, she said, girl, I ain't gonna work that hard. She said, just give me one of them little white things to put on. I just want the little white thing. I said, girl, I'm gonna sit on the stage. And I sat on the stage. I was number 2 in my class, and I was the class president when I graduated. And I sat on that stage. And when I sat on that stage, I looked next to me, and the girl that was the valedictorian, she was just crying. I was like, girl, what you crying for? We on stage. What is you crying for? We are on the stage. And she said, I'm the valedictorian of the class. And the principal didn't even acknowledge me. And that bothered her because her brother was the valedictorian the previous year. So she had a legacy. So since her brother was a valedictorian, he said a speech, everybody went out and, oh yeah. So it's like, I'm the valedictorian and I don't get to say nothing. So I said that Romans 8:28, because she was in tears, but for me, I'm just happy to be there. Right? But both things work together for the good, right? Because for me, as a first generation college student, nobody in my family, like my grandmother was a custodian at the college. So for me being on the stage was establishing a legacy for my family, right? So I'm happy to be there. But for that young woman who was accustomed to excellence, that was not enough for her. So that principal knew he had made a mistake. He knew that if he didn't correct that with that family, it was about to go down after graduation. So he got himself up and on the podium and said, I would like to acknowledge the valedictorian of the senior class. And he said her name and the crowd went wild. Why? Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good. Wherever you find yourself in that equation, just know who you are, because all things work together for the good. Just find where you are, because either way, we are establishing legacies. Whether you're the one that have never been there or you're the one that are used to it, we have to continue to go in those directions, because both of those things need to be established at the same time. No one is greater, no one is lesser, but we have to continue until both ends meet. Second thing, 1 Timothy 4:12, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of believers in word and conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. When I was going to get my master's degree, I had a plan. Everybody got a plan? My plan is I'm going to finish my doctorate by the time I'm 25. Every time I tell somebody that, they say, girl, don't stick to that plan. Give yourself some room. Don't stick to that plan. Well, if it don't work, you know how they be trying to let you down easy. If it don't work out, don't be disappointed, right? So every time I went to a class, they be like, and how old are you? And they would show these statistics about high school dropouts and how they was 22 and 23. And they say, Keisha, well, how old are you again? And I'm sitting up there in the class like 22 and 23 getting my master's, right? And they say, well, why they use 22? And they say, well, that's kind of like the age kids drop out. And they say, well, Keisha in here. And I say, well, stop saying that out loud, right? So I learned how to speak, at that age, but I also recognize, they would be asking me questions and I was so in a rush to do this and do that. And I found myself doing a little bit of everything in everybody's job, like the little roll runner. So I learned to not let them despise my youth, but as you get older, you get a little wiser. So that brought me down, and I'm closing, Philippians 4:12. I know both how to be abased and I know how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. Wiser, self-paced. It's like, I watch, both of the men I've been married to, they love athletics, baby. They love to play that basketball. And I see these men on this panel. I admire y'all, but y'all get out there and try to play with them young bucks. It's amazing. And they say, oh, I still got it. And I be sitting right in the house waiting with that Bengay and that Tiger Balm, because I already know my son's going to get out there and do y'all dirty, but y'all are so motivated. Y'all get out there and play basketball. I've seen street races. I've seen street races where y'all get out there on Thanksgiving Day and just line up, and all the wives is in the house with the ice packs. But at any rate, I admire the way that basketball game changes, because at first everybody is just like up and down the court, up and down the court. But I admire the way an older gentleman has learned to master the game, because they sit there, they study you. They will let the young fellow just keep running up and down, run up and down, run up and down. But they got that passing game down. They know where their people are. Same thing with football. They got that. They can throw that ball, but you're not going to get me running. You're not going to tackle me. I'm going to be very evasive. So that's how I have learned as I've gotten older. I'll say, okay, you're going to monitor it. You're going to chime in when you need to and focus on the main thing, so you want to do what you can to bring about the most effective change. Because when you're younger, you're so full of zeal, and many times through all of your adversity, you're so used to just kind of you're trying to prove yourself. You're almost so scarred and torn up from all of the fighting that you've had to do. So you're in this constant rush of trying to prove things. But after God has roughed you up a little bit, and I'm like Dr. O'Sullivan. I had two parents that just had been through it. My daddy was a veteran who had PTSD, and he used to kind of put my mama through some things. I've seen abuse. I've seen my dad pull a gun on my mom, but they were doing the best they could. I love my dad. My dad, when he passed away, I buried him. He was a soldier. They gave him the salute. I said, Dad, you did it with honors. I don't hate him for what he put my mom through. He was doing the best he could with what he had. And me and my mom have had problems, but she raised all three of her daughters, and all three of us are married and have careers, but she put us through some things because of what she's gone through with our fathers, right? But through our adversity, we handle things based on our scars. But as we go through that process, we see the greatness in us. We turn that thing around, and being reared by a grandparent, you learn to wait on some stuff. My grandmother always told me, don't worry about what they got, because you don't know how they got it. You get those little nuggets. So I leave you with, through your adversity, find the greatness in it and continue to move and use that greatness and build those things into God's you, because we're going to have to make all those things, because the people are coming and they're trying to find their gifts, and they're trying to find how to make their ancient ruins foster into gifts. And a lot of people are broken right now. So a lot of the things and ways they communicate, they're not sure on how to do that, but they are gifted. So we want to make those gifts fold into this woven, immaculate basket that God's you has made it to be. And we thank our amazing Chancellor, Attorney Reverend Diane Moore Eubanks, PhD, for giving us this amazing opportunity to be such a part of a spectacular university. Thank you, and God bless.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Lakeisha.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I want you all to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And stay tuned. We have some more messages that follow. And I look forward to seeing you next week on our Wednesday.